Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another daily Clues by Sam. I hope you guys are doing good. If you're new here and you don't know what Clues by Sam is, it is a daily logic puzzle where there are 20 people who are either criminal or innocent, and they might give us clues to help us in the journey to figuring out who is what. You can play for free. The link is in the description, and you can follow along with me because I'm going to be solving and explaining the logic as I go. So hopefully I get a perfect solve today. And yeah, let's see how this one goes. We start with Tina telling us that she's the only innocent to right of Kita. Okay, so Kita is right here and she has only two people to her right. So Sean and Tina. And Tina is obviously the only innocent, so that makes Sean a criminal. Now we don't need Tina's school anymore because it tells us all of the information we could get. So we dismiss it by clicking on it. And Sean now says that Sia is one of two criminals in row 5. So Sia is a criminal, and we know that of the 4 people in row 5, there's only one more criminal, which means 2 innocents. So we leave Sean's clue there to remind us of that in case we need it in the future. Sia now says that only one of the 2 criminals neighboring Umar is Penny's neighbor. So I double click here. When I double click the clue here, it highlights Penny and Umar so I can see them easily. And the clue says that there's 2 criminals neighboring Umar total, and one of those 2 is shared with Penny. Penny is one of Umar's neighbors. So the 2 that they share are Kita and Wanda, and only one of these are gonna be a criminal. The other one is gonna be an innocent. So we tag them with the yellow tag here on the corner. And that reminds us that when we make one of them a criminal, the other one's going to be an innocent or vice versa. So where's the second criminal for Umar? It has to be Penny herself, right? Because it's the only neighbor left here. And since we have the tags in Kita and Wanda, we don't need Sia's clue anymore because we can't get any more information from that. Let's look at Penny's. Row 4 is the only row with exactly 1 innocent. Okay, so we know now that there's only 1 innocent in row 4, and we already know who that innocent is. It's Tina. So Kita, who is also in row 4 and we haven't revealed yet, we now know is a criminal. And because she was yellow opposites with Wanda, we make Wanda an innocent. Now, we leave Penny's clue here because it is going to remind us of the totals for the rows when we look at row 1, 2, and 3. And we also know from Sean that there's 2 criminals in row 5, and now there's only 2 people left. So one of those people is going to be the second and last criminal, and the other one is going to be the innocent. So we tag them with opposite tags. Now Kita says that both innocents above Wanda are connected. Kita is above Wanda, and besides her, there's 3 more people above Wanda. 2 of those 3 have to be innocents, and one of them is the only one connected to any of the other 3 of the other 2. So Frida is the only one connected to any of the other people above Wanda who could be innocents, and Frida has to be one of those. That makes now Bunty and Martin opposites because one of them who is connected to Frida is going to be the last innocent above Wanda. Now we don't need Kita's clue anymore because of the tags, and Frida tells us straight up that Hall is a criminal. Get all we need from that. Hall says that 2 mechanics have a criminal directly below them. Okay, so double clicking the clue to highlight all of the mechanics, we see that Igor, Nancy, and Oscar are all mechanics. And 2 of them already have people below them revealed, one of which is a criminal, the other one is an innocent. So the second criminal has to be below the 3rd mechanic, in this case, Igor, and that's one of the mechanics, Oscar. So Oscar has to be a criminal here. And he says that there are exactly 2 innocents to the right of Erwin. So Frida is one of them, the other one has to be Igor. Now, Igor says that only one row has exactly 2 criminals. So that goes with row 5 having 2 criminals. We know that's the case, and that makes it so that row 2 couldn't have 2 criminals, which so far it has 1, and if Erwin were a criminal, it would end up with 2. So we need to make Erwin an innocent here. Now, we leave Igor's clue there to remind us of that in the future. but Erwin says there are as many criminal builders as there are criminal coders. So we double click the clue and we see all of the builders and all of the coders are right down here. I don't see any other builders. So we have 3 coders and 2 builders. Both builders are criminals, and so far we have only 1 coder. So we need a second coder who is a criminal, and it has to be Umer, who is opposite with Zed. So now we get Zed to be an innocent, and we don't need Erwin's school anymore. Zed says there's only 1 innocent above Keith. That's Erwin. So there's 2 people above Keith, Erwin and Amy, and if Erwin is the sole innocent, that makes Amy a criminal. We don't need Zed's school anymore. Amy now says there's an odd number of innocents neighboring Kita. Kita has 1 innocent so far, and she has 3 people neighboring her who could be innocents: Keith, Martin, and Nancy. If 2 of them were innocents, then, and the third one is a criminal, that makes Kita has an odd number of innocents neighboring her, so that works for Amy's clue. But if we go back and look at Igor's clue, we know that only 1 row has exactly 2 criminals, and that row is row 5. If Kita has 3 innocents, then row 3 ends up with 2 criminals as well. So we can't have that. And we can't have all 3 be innocents, obviously, because that makes Kita have an even number of innocents, or just one of them also gives her an even number of innocents. So we can't have 2, we can't have 3, and we can't have 1. Everybody here is then a criminal. And Martin was opposites with Bunty, so that makes Bunty an innocent. We don't get a new clue there, but we can put together the clues that we have left, which are Penny's and Igor's, saying that only 1 row has 2 criminals. So we know that we can't have only 1 criminal between Chris and Donna, the people left in row 1. And we can't have 2, because we know from Penny's clue that row 4 is the only row with 1 innocent. And if both of them were criminals, then Bunty would be the single innocent in row 1. So we need both of them to be innocents. And that finishes the puzzle. Nice. Good. I love it. I hope you guys enjoy this. This is going to be a shorter one. Usually in the middle of the week, we have shorter puzzles and easier difficulties just to ease people into the mechanics. And let me know how it went for you if you did play it, or if you have any hardships. I can try to explain something better if there is a need for that. I'll see you tomorrow otherwise for more Clues by Sam. Bye bye.